Jadwiga finally started to feel like a king after her buff in the April 2021 patch. But does she stand out now as a king among kings? Spoiler alert? Not really. Today we're going to go over Poland, their abilities, and my preferred strategy when playing as them, and I'll give them a final ranking for each victory type as well as an overall rating at the end. Remember, if you like this content, please let me know by leaving a like or commenting. I always appreciate you, my viewers, for all the feedback that I'm getting on this series. Poland is a civ that is drawn in two different directions, but both involving religion. The civilization ability Golden Liberty culture bombs adjacent workable tiles if you build an encampment, or much more rarely, a fort. You also get a military policy slot converted to a wildcard slot. This is a pretty flexible bonus early on in the game, and I do like culture bombs. I feel like they're just rare enough in the game to be impactful whenever a civilization has one in their abilities. Now this would seem to push you into an aggressive military game, but I think in order to understand Poland, you have to view all of their bonuses to see the full picture. Jadwiga's ability, Lithuanian Union, allows you to take these culture bombs and insta-convert cities to your founded religion or the religion that is in the majority of your cities. Now this works wonderfully towards a crusade game. You also get +1 faith on holy sites per adjacent district, which can give you lots of faith in the late game, just as much as Japan could get. And you also get relics that provide +4 gold, +2 culture, and +2 faith on top of their already normal yields. Now, these two abilities work pretty well in tandem. If you can get a religion, which you get no real bonus towards, except for the early wildcard slot letting you run the prophet card, if you get that religion, you can play an aggressive crusade game, backed up with your winged hussars, your unique cavalry that pushes back units or deals extra damage if they can't be moved. You can then buy a builder, get forts on your border cities, get your combat bonus for crusade, use the Grandmaster's Chapel to buy your units, and kind of go on a spree. But you kind of have to wait until later in the game to get this started. Or you can get a religion, get the reliquary's belief, buffing your relics, and build a strong economic religion. Push as quickly as you can towards Mont Saint Michel and go for a religious game with the extra faith from your relics. Both of these strategies are kind of late starts though for both of these victory conditions. You're waiting until kind of the Renaissance or late medieval era to get your game really started. Poland gets the Sukiennice, a market that buffs your trade routes. Your internal routes get extra gold, while your international routes get extra production. And I see online that this unique gets kind of a lot of flack, but I see it as a way to shore up your game plan. Are you going to war? Well, the internal trade routes maintain your army now. Are you going a faith victory and have a lot of relics? Well, take all this production from international routes, since you already have so much gold. I don't think it is nearly as bad as people say, but I kind of wish that all trade routes gave you these bonuses. When you look at someone like Tokugawa, who has all of these bonuses going for them, this unique building sort of gets lost and forgotten. My preferred way to play Poland is the faith victory route, and I think it is a must to play Poland with both the secret societies and heroes and legends modes. I find that you get relics far too infrequently and far too late in the game to snowball otherwise. Think about it, in base game, the only way you can get relics are through candy, finding them in tribal villages, or with the martyr belief, which is a random bonus on your apostles unless you get the Mont Saint Michel Wonder, which comes pretty late in the game and is not a guaranteed way to get relics because somebody else could build it. This makes Poland kind of a late bloomer. If you're going for faith, you need to push for religion by playing greedy in the early game and getting up a second city and 2 holy sites as soon as possible. But you do have a slight advantage to other civilizations because you have that free wildcard slot in most of your governments. But this is not going to guarantee your religion. You have to work pretty hard to get it, but once I do get my religion, then I build into whatever hero I have unlocked through my exploration. It doesn't matter which hero I get. I obviously would much prefer Hercules or Sinbad or somebody, or Anansi, but the goal is not really to have the hero, but to have the hero's relic, which would give me gold, faith, and culture and tourism early enough in this game. Now, if all of those stars align, If I'm able to get a religion, if I'm able to survive early, if I'm able to get 4 to 5 cities, if I can stay alive to get to like the industrial age, I am unstoppable with all of the relics that I can get from Void Singers. You really can't lose at that point. But who wants to do religious victories after the industrial era? Most faith victories happen within 175 turns. This makes Poland a very, very slow civ. Poland is kind of like Thanos, inevitable, but not very quick. Now, if I can't get the Void Singers early enough, then it's time to pivot to vampires and domination. I still try to rush out a religion and a hero, but I want to get Crusade. I want to turtle up and save the faith or my heroes until I get to siege tactics. Then I try to build encampments and flip cities close to me. If I can't reach them with an encampment, or I don't have the production for an encampment, I will use my international trade or my internal trade routes to use gold to buy myself a builder to build forts. But this comes with siege tactics, which is pretty late in the game. Unlike my faith-based victory, I go for the Grandmaster's Chapel to build siege units, and I use my trade routes to buy other units. And if a hero dies, I just use that as free culture to get cores and armies quicker. I want to prioritize attacking AIs with relics in order to get the cores faster and to the armies faster. But again, I'm waiting to get my domination victory much later than someone like Byzantium can with their faith. Byzantium and Poland feel like they were designed in a similar space, but Byzantium was pushed much further. Again, you are inevitable. If you get that religion, you're probably going to win a domination game. But it's slow, and it doesn't feel that great. Poland plays a good faith game. You do get a small edge towards getting a profit, and you do get crazy faith and yields later in the game, if you get Mont Saint-Michel or you get the Void Singers. Otherwise, it just feels too random and too bad. So instead of giving her a 10 out of 10 for religion, I'm only going to give her a 7 out of 10 for religion. The domination game is much the same, and this feels like the way Poland was designed. You either go peaceful faith or you go regressive faith. If you have a religion and you have close but not too close neighbors, you get your domination win. But you have to get to that point without dying early, and you have no early bonuses. And you have no bonuses really until the mid-late game. So 7 out of 10 there as well. Culture is a fine third option. You get a bunch of faith, you get a bunch of culture, you get a bunch of relics, you get a bunch of gold to buy preserve buildings, and you are incentivized to get tourism through your relics. But I don't think that you have a guaranteed culture game without the Void Singers mode, so 5 out of 10 for me. Science and diplomacy, in my opinion, are not super worth going for. You're not really pushed in that direction other than having a slight gold bonus or a slight production bonus, but you don't really have both of those at the same time. 4 out of 10. Jadwiga is torn. I wish her bonuses went much more heavily into either direction. Either much more heavily into religious war like Byzantium does, or in my opinion, much more heavily into relics would be better, because with the rework to Khmer, we don't really have that relic-based gameplay. So I feel that Secret Societies and Heroes modes is a must for Jadwiga. Therefore, I will give her a C without those game modes, and a B, maybe a B plus with those game modes activated. She's not my least favorite civ, but she's not one that I'm super excited to play very often. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you think about Jadwiga down below. This has been STG Sheep, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.